Ah, hello everyone. Happy Easter. Hello, haha, thank you for the resub. Happy Easter, or not Easter if you don't celebrate it. Happy day before all of the peeps are on sale. That's a holiday, right? Ba 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 ba. All right. Pre-peeps clear out day, yes. Ba 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 ba. All right, so if I remember correctly, last time we played, we were on a planet and we helped defeat a Terminator, and then we got kidnapped. And we don't know why. We don't know why this person wants to kidnap us, but they do. We can just like listen to this for 5 hours. That's a good stream, right? Okay. Continue old game. Ooh, yeah. I named the same cliffhanger. I'm so funny. Okay. Okay, so we were kidnapped. We got Pelvis over here. I mean, I technically.
What the fuck? I don't want to see you move another inch, or I'm gonna slice you into nice little bite-sized pieces. Now, can it?
Oh no, he took the keys. I needed those. Do you guys want the game volume up? Let me know. Okay.
A nail protrudes from the wall. How novel.
Spore beer?
How groovy. They've got a neon sign for Spore beer. Spore yourself a tall, frosty one. It's one of those wads of lard you ran into at the inn. It's a short pile polystyrene rug with the ubiquitous Have a Cyclopean Day symbol. A beautiful thick shag carpet of Pelvis Brelsford, the rock and roll programming sensation, adorns the east wall of this grungy apartment.
Mushroom beer sounds like an actual thing. It would not surprise me if like some like homebrew bros put some like mushroom powder in a beer for more like umami or something. All right.
You are now a proud nail owner.
I like how I'm saying hands, but I'm actually using feet. That seems like an oversight. Okay, so now we have pockets.
You get fingerprints all over it.
Okay. I'm gonna choose nail. Oh wow, we're talented. We can...
Good thinking. The nail proves to be just what you needed.
That's impressive to be able to lockpick ourselves out of that. Okay.
Don't get all excited, Little Red Riding Hood. You aren't out of those woods yet.
That is that's a great saying. Okay. All right. Now we were free. So now let's... He is just not I guess he's a gamer. He's just not noticing this. So now we
Don't even bother looking in your pockets. You are carrying nothing. Nada. Zip. Zero. Zilch.
Okay, so... Okay. We now have the Elvis tapestry.
You carefully lay the rug on the floor. Even though you were never known for your interior decorating talents, you feel very satisfied with the location you have chosen.
Okay, so now... Alright, this is some adventure game nonsense.
Your body is now carrying a nice static charge.
So now we're all loaded up with our static electricity. And now we're gonna touch the thug.
Wow, the static energy you built up discharged, frying Lard Boy's circuitry. Did you actually think of that, or was it just luck?
I'd too boogie on a pelvis carpet to build up a lethal charge of static. Yeah, don't we all?
Don't even...
Ah!
Don't...
Okay, stop it. Oh, dang it. Did I do that? Oh no, we gotta do that again. Alright, now we know what to do. My bad. I don't know what happened. Okay. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Okay, so we... Hands on the nail. Hands on the key.
Hey.
Okay, he's gonna take the key. Take the nail. We got long legs.
You are now a proud...
Those are some dexterous legs.
Good thinking. The nail proves to be just what you needed to free yourself from those handcuffs. Don't get all excited, Little Red Riding Hood.
I am not out of the woods yet. Okay. I cannot believe that they don't notice that. Okay. Pockets.
You carefully...
Boogie, boogie, boogie. Okay, we're dancing again. I actually just like this so much, I wanted to do it twice.
Your body is now carrying a nice static...
Now we touch. Pew!
Wow, the static energy you built up discharged, frying Lard Boy's...
Alright.
Smooth move. You've got his keyring.
And then I need that. Okay, so we have the data coder from before. We have a key ring.
You summon the ability to leave it alone.
Okay.
You don't see any way of turning the dehumidifier off.
This is a very alarming, doll.
Her skin feels puffy and rubbery, as if her internal body pressure has risen. It must be Regalian bladderwort fever.
Okay.
It does nothing until you insert a 3DOA compatible disc.
Alright. Okay. That.
It does nothing.
Ew! I just noticed the ew, the weird mouse stain.
Don't pick. The desk feels more or less as flimsy as it looks. You're reasonably certain that this door won't budge without a key card of some sort.
Okay, where are? Oh, okay. There's also.
You now possess the Mahdi.
I don't know what the Mahdi is. Okay.
You summon the ability to leave it alone. The desk feels more or less. That's delightfully non-helpful.
There's supposed to be
That wouldn't. The desk.
a pile of CDs somewhere,
It does nothing until you.
and I cannot see a pile of CDs.
It wouldn't be prudent to do that. It wouldn't be. Don't pick at it, you'll only make it worse. It wouldn't be. It feels slightly gritty. You.
Okay.
It feels. It wouldn't be. You don't see any. The desk feels more. Don't pick at. It feels slightly. Sorry. Besides, who needs posters you can't unroll the next day?
Okay.
Even though you may not realize it now, you really don't want to touch the chair where that guy had his posterior placed.
I'm sitting on it though.
That wouldn't.
I need to find CDs. A pile of CDs.
Surprisingly, it's a pile of books. Your captors have obviously been drinking mass quantities of that new imported beer, Pt2 Wormhole.
Pt2 Wormhole? What kind of name is that?
This little unit is a portable dehumidifier. When you're a guy like Singent, who sweats like a bicranial crud snorter, you need one of these things going all the time. You have no idea where this place is, but it's nice to see that grunge has finally hit the interior decorating industry.
What a 90s joke.
This is one of the places those. It looks a lot more detailed than it did in Space Quest 4, that's for sure.
What? Okay.
This alien woman looks to be in very bad shape. Her pupils are fixed and dilated. Her body is stiff, almost as if she's dead. And her skin looks tight and puffy, as if bodily gases are building up inside her. Bandages and patches appear in profusion all over her, and some of her seams look like they're about to give way. You make a mental note to come back and rescue this poor woman.
Is that a joke that we don't know? It's, a companion doll? I'm trying to be diplomatic.
This optical disc-based multimedia entertainment system has a slew of powerful graphics and audio coprocessors. A unique flexible architecture, is extremely high-priced, and plays a half-dozen really bad arcade games. It's
Okay.
called a 3DOA.
I don't get that joke. Burlesque? What?
It's a burlesque Mahdi.
Okay.
This is the data corder you got from that endodroid hunter dude.
I don't know what a burlesque Mahdi does.
It's that Lard Master's keyring.
Man, what are the pixels? Oh, he hums the tune. Cliffhanger. Oh god. C D's nuts. I'm very smart.
It wouldn't be prudent. The room seems to be vibrating very slightly. This would probably indicate a damping field in operation somewhere close by.
I do not...
Either that or someone downstairs is using a pro shiatsu.
Okay.
It wouldn't be... Your search through the CDs reveals a bunch of typically boring multimedia magazines.
Okay, there are the CDs.
A multimedia phone book. Too bad there aren't any phones around here. There seems to be a small pile. The Outpost Project Survival Guide. You pinch yourself to make sure this...
Wait, am I supposed to just keep clicking through it until...
Successful People Managing Techniques by Carm Trebus. Funny, it's empty.
What?
MF-DOS for idiots, morons, and phoebes.
I want to be a phoebe.
Don't touch that. Turing Xenon on 5 buckazoids a day.
Oh, Xenon. That was from one of the games.
That's delightful. Discovering your inner maggot.
What?
How to become assigned to being a corporate creative genius without really trying.
I believe that's how to succeed in business without really trying.
This might be worth checking out. It's a copy of Popular Tektronix.
Okay, okay, those are the CDs. There's holes in it. Okay, from datacoder to homing beacon fast. This is the future, the holes are a feature. Okay, oh god, this is tiny font. Gotta get up close. From datacoder to homing beacon fast. Yes, you can make a homing beacon from simple household goods. Chief among the devices you can use is the datacoder, which a few adjustments sends out a powerful signal to potential rescuers who could be light years away. First, open your datacoder. Inside you'll find chips, ERC settings, and plates. If you correctly alter these settings, you'll soon be home by the fire with a cup of nog. Of course, any mistakes could result in a barbecue with you as the entree, but let's not worry about that. We'll describe the details in the next issue. No! I need it in this issue. Tuft Wiggle! Ah! Thank you for the Tuft Wiggle redeem. Okay. Can I print it? Okay. How to make a time machine out of a DeLorean. Alright. Exit. Wait. Eject. Okay, so we got this. We gotta find... Choose app. Play...
Well, the worm is out of the hole. So, you have to ask yourself, do I feel lucky?
No.
Well, do I, punk?
What? He's not mad?
You poke and prod amongst the moddies until you find a moddy labeled churlish. Being intrigued by the word, you glom it. Incidentally, you might want to look up the word churlish before you do anything stupid.
What does churlish mean? Okay, let's save. We'll save it as CD's nuts. Okay. Churlish. Churlish. Rude in a mean-spirited and surly way. Okay. So what we have to do is...
The corner of the label in this Mahdi seems to be loose.
So now we're taking the word churlish and we're putting it over burlesque. Okay. And then we give it to him.
Thinking it was the churlish Mahdi, he pops it in place.
I knew what to expect, and I still wasn't expecting that.
The room seems to be... It wouldn't be prudent to do... The room... You are visually unimpressed.
Okay, that was pretty funny. Okay, so I gotta find his...
This appears to be some sort of
I gotta find his belt that he dropped.
The room seems... Unfortunately, your brainwave patterns are far too puny to benefit from even this unit's powerful positronic amplifiers. The room seems to... You rummage around in the box to look for something useful, but all you find is an almost complete set of line dancing in zero-G daddies. Only Volume 2, the Achy Breaky, appears to be missing.
Is that like a joke about Achy Breaky Heart? Okay, so let's look at this.
It's Nigel's belt, complete with a damping field actuator and a nifty personal grooming assistant.
Ooh. Ooh, ew, 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 ew.
That's an interesting idea. Not a good one, but interesting nonetheless.
Ew. I wasn't expecting it to be so visceral. Oh my god. Oh man. Okay. Okay, so now we go to pockets and then we... Okay, so we can now leave. God, how do I get that? How do I get that out of the... Okay, it's out of the corner.
The cityscape stretches like an immense pestilent rash across the puckered, festering face of Polysorbate 60.
Ah, pretty.
Alright, so... Now we look at our data quarter. Pockets.
This is the data quarter you got from that endodroid hunter dude.
Okay. Okay, oh god. This is gonna kill me. I'm gonna save. Data quarter fun. Okay. So what we're gonna do is pockets. Or hands. Alright. So, turn off the force field, open the data coder.
This is the faceplate of the data quarter. During normal operation, the faceplate is closed. It should only be opened to repair, replace, or reconfigure the internal components. This is the face...
Oh.
If you want to open it, you'll have to find the button.
Ah, there's the... That's the button. Okay. Okay. There are 5 arrays right here. A through E. You can change the plate, chip, or the ERK. You can move the plates or chips by placing over the right of the. You need to configure them so they look like this. Okay. Oh god. This is hard.
That plate's chip socket is currently occupado. Please.
Okay, so we have to like put it off to the side. Okay. Are you just supposed to guess this? Because the thing says in the next issue, like that's where it is. And power button? I'm reconfiguring.
You have successfully reconfigured the data coder for standard use.
No! No, that's not what I wanted. Oh, I just accidentally
Don't open the data, such as your central nervous.
Oh, I reset it. That's what I did. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I can also move these. So I need RF. I'll do this one first. This part. Okay. FC goes there. Okay, that was what I was missing. Now we have orange.
You
purple.
missed! Ha!
Thanks, game. Thanks, game. Yellow. Okay, I think that's it. Let me just double check. And power? There we go.
Hey! Here's your fish!
Stellar, you picked up my homing signal. I can't believe I actually made it work. Now no one can say I spent a little bit too much free time in the bathroom with Popular Tektronics.
Popular Tektronics, who are you trying to kid? I know what you were reading in there.
What was that voice, Roger? I thought I heard something.
Pay no attention, Stellar. It was probably just a mechanical flatulence from the ship.
Anyway, we received a transmission from a nearby StarCon communications monitoring
Can we
platform.
smooch
They
Stellar?
told us of some unusual signal originating from the area of polysorbate 60. We dialed it in, scanned the coordinates, and found you.
So what are you doing in this sector, Stellar? I thought you were stationed on the SCS Heinz 57.
I hope we get to smooch
I
her.
am. I had some leave accumulated and decided to take it. This is kind of embarrassing for me.
Oh, okay.
I actually came to see you. I've been thinking about you a lot lately, and I was curious about what you'd been up to, so I decided to visit. And when I arrived here, I found you had just left for shore leave on polysorbate. I decided to follow you down and try and catch up with you. When I got to that dump of an inn and found you'd been kidnapped by those thugs, I searched around but could find no trace of where they'd taken
She wants
you.
to smooch
That
us.
certainly is a strange place. I decided to beam back up to the deep ship and try to locate you through your transport communicator signal. When I'd returned, I found you'd left it up here on the ship. I didn't know what to do then until that call came through from the StarCon installation. You're a lucky man, Wilco.
Yeah. I guess I am. If you hadn't gotten there when you did, I'd probably be a victim of some serious cement poisoning after those geeks chucked me off that balcony.
Terrace.
What?
Well, actually, it was a terrace.
Whatever.
Okay.
Thanks, Stellar. I sure owe you a big one.
I'd sure like to collect that sometime.
I don't know
But
if
let's
that's just
talk
how they
about
draw
you and me.
foreheads.
Perhaps I could take
Or
you
if
to
she's
dinner
supposed to be like
sometime
war.
soon.
I cannot
I'd
tell.
like that, Stellar. I'd like that a lot. The thing is that I kind of have a relationship with another, and I wouldn't feel very comfortable about that. I mean, it wouldn't be fair to her. You understand? Not to mention the fact I'd be wearing my sphincter for a necklace if Beatrice ever found out. I hope you
Yeah,
do understand,
The
Stellar.
art style
like you.
is.
I think I even more than like you. I don't know where I got this inordinate sense of loyalty toward Beatrice.
I believe the word that explains that is fear.
Pound sand, pal. Please know that were the situation any different, I'd be making that date with you right now.
Oh, I see. Friends, co-workers, buddies. That's all this is gonna be. Guess I knew it somewhere inside. I just didn't want to believe it. I guess I admire your trueness of heart, however misplaced. But I feel much more inclined to damn you for it. I know that's selfish, but it's how I feel.
This is
I
how
must
people
admit
talk.
it shows something more about you, more depth of character than I gave you credit for, Wilco. Well, I'm patient if you ever have a change of heart. Well, Roger, we should see what we can find out about those subhuman walking dumpsters that had such a keen interest in you. I don't suppose you heard their names.
No, but I did get this neat
Ah!
personal grooming assistant. It needs a little cleaning, but
That's great, Roger. Don't clean it, though. Take it to the sick bay. There's a DNA analyzer there. We can scan the contents and perhaps use the results to get some names and information about these guys.
good thinking, Stellar. I probably would have thought of it, eventually.
Yeah, I'm sure you would have, Roger. Look, I've got to go to sick bay and get some treatment for my back after that not-so-graceful rescue.
Oh, yeah, that. Sorry. Well,
She called
I'll
us
see you
heavy?
there.
What?
Commander, I am receiving a message from StarCon.
Computer on screen.
Commander Kielbasa.
Hello, Commander Kilbasa. I have a new directive for Deep Ship 86. This is actually a special request from me, Commander. As you may know, I served with Admiral Bluntfang during the Fallopian campaign. Admiral Bluntfang's widow is involved in building an off-world retirement community. They are almost finished, but have requested assistance from Deep Ship 86. Commander, please extend her every courtesy. You know, if things go well, this would not look too bad in your personnel file. I will let Sharpay, the Admiral's widow, explain further.
Hello, Commander Kilbasa. As Admiral Toolman mentioned, we have almost completed our project here, but could use StarCon assistance.
Do you think she's evil?
To be honest, Commander, I pulled a few strings, but this is an important mission, I assure you. Since you are scheduled to be present for the dedication of the Golden Light Year's retirement center anyway, I hoped you might alter your travel plans to accommodate an earlier arrival. From the information provided me by my old friend, the Admiral, you would be able to warp here within a few hours. I require some assistance from your ship, as well as one of your crew members. Allow me to explain.
Okay, she's not gonna explain it to us.
Meanwhile, back in sickbay.
Okay. Sick bay. Sick bay? Sick bay. Okay, we are aboard the deep ship. Okay. We're gonna... And... Ooh, hair. Ah! Okay. Beep, 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 beep. What is the... Oh, DNA scanner. Okay.
I'm sorry, Mr. Wu. The sequencer is for use by trained personnel only. Obviously, you don't fit that description. I'm afraid I can't allow you to use it.
Ah, come on, Jebba. Be a pal. Who'll know?
I'm sorry, Mr. Wilco. It's a StarCon regulation.
Your word,
What? Okay, so he's not gonna
your
let us...
utterances.
Ah, so let's...
I'm sorry, Mr. Wilco.
Ah, come on.
Jabba is an interesting-looking
Instead of
fellow.
Java-
That is, if
Java.
you think a melted purple marshmallow with an internal skeleton is interesting. He's the main research attendant here in the sick bay.
Okay. Move around. Then keep talking to him.
Jeez, Jebba. Who's gonna know? Let me try this one thing. I'll be out of your way. No one will find out.
I don't know, Mr. Wilco. I'm not one to break regulations. I really don't think it's a good idea.
I swear, it'll only take a minute. We're out in the middle of nowhere. No one will find out. And I'll tell you what, anytime you want it, one free plunge job, day or night. What do you say?
Well, I don't know.
It'll only take a minute or two, really. Come on, Jebba, be a pal.
Okay, oh wait. Oh shoot, did I click through the answer? Okay.
You look at it, but nothing strikes your fancy.
Yo, yeah, day or night plunge. Lens, clone, sequence. Data card. Okay. Okay, so we have the data card now. I need to take the hair back?
Don't touch that. We don't know where you've been.
Okay. How do I leave? What do I do now? Okay. Ba 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 ba.
Neat. I've always wanted to try one of these on the compost.
Okay. Okay, so we have... Okay. This is the DNA pattern of Nigel Rancid? I thought it said Rancio, but it's Rancid. Nigel Rancid. Okay.
Oh, hi, Stellar. I hope your back's feeling better.
They just finished treating me, and it is starting to feel better. However, I was told to lay off rescuing people for a while, especially you. So, did you have any luck?
I got some information from the sample I ran through the DNA sequencer. When I tried it, all I got was a name. All it said after that was that the file is closed. I wonder why that is.
I don't know for sure, Roger, but it seems a bit suspicious. When a file is marked like that, there's usually a very good reason. Most frequently, it indicates a file is closed for intelligence purposes, or it's legally sealed by some judicial body. In the case of those tubs of guts that grabbed you, I'd have to say it's not a government agency directly behind it. It sounds more like someone with access from the outside to a friend or two inside. A more paranoid person might say this smells way wrong.
Then again, when did you last change your socks?
If the files are sealed, then we have nothing to go on.
True. The only thing I can think of is that they may be accessible by jacking into cyberspace. I've never done it, but I know it can be done.
So I guess this means you won't be trying it first. I mean, I'd love to try it, but I can't since we don't know how.
Well, actually, I read it can be done with the help of a cyberjack and headset.
Jacking it?
And a cyberspace jack interface module.
You mean
The
cyberjacking
article
it?
said there are several things to access out there and that there's a vast library of files to browse. It said that the Information Superhighway project is a little behind schedule, but that there are some operative areas. Other than that, I don't have a clue as to how we can gain any information about them.
So you think this cyberspace thing could work?
Well, I can only tell you what I've read. Navigating it takes a little patience, but I think it's the only option you have. I don't know if you'll locate a cyberjack and headset. Because of the delays in the project, they've become more like collector's items than marketable, functionable products.
We do have cyberjack modules built into the compost.
That's true. Of course, we won't know anyway without the jack.
That bites. I wonder where we could find one of those.
I wish I knew, Roger. There must be some place.
Attention! We are now orbiting the Delta Berxilon 5 colony as requested by StarCon. Most of you know your assignments as they have been broadcast to your composts. Please represent StarCon properly. Kilbasa, out.
You better get moving since you don't know yet what your assignment is. I have some checking around to do. We'll talk later.
Thanks, Stellar. I'll see you soon. Maybe we can work in that dinner.
No, stop flirting. It's my job. To fix our clothes. Okay, so we need to check our composts.
Wow, a message from me. I must be getting popular.
Oh, okay. Oh, shoot. Ah, that was, I'm so sorry. I thought it wanted me to hit play. So we need to go to... Roger's quarters. Oh my god. I I did not mean to click through that. I apologize. I thought it wanted me to hit play.
I guess the cyberspace jack on these things doesn't work. That's another thing StarCon cheaped out on.
Okay. Allows you to transport. I want to see what the Hollow Cabana is. Let's try that.
The walls have a flat, nondescript finish, very deceiving when you consider what this room is capable of. These are the holodeck programming controls.
Those buttons seem to be self-explanatory. I wonder what they do.
Oh, this is definitely gonna kill me. Never mind. I don't want to do that. Ba, 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 ba. So we want to go to the shuttle bay entrance? Is that where we want to go?
Magnum doesn't talk. He fancies himself to be like one of those Buckingham Palace types. You consider saying hi until you remember how dedicated he is to his job, and you wouldn't want him to get in trouble for slacking off while on duty. I wonder why you don't worry about that for yourself.
Dang it.
You pinch yourself.
Communications are offline due to short-sighted design work. When we resume service, you'll enjoy 20% savings whenever you send subspace transmission to anyone in your bores and mortal enemies list. Like a friends and family plan. Maybe the transporter? I don't know where to go. Oh.
Okay, I'm ready. Energize.
Alright, this is right.
Commander Kielbasa and that other guy look like they're just finishing up a conversation.
Janitor Wilco, Dr. Bellows and I were just talking about you. Please report to Sharpay's quarters, Janitor Wilco. She is in need of someone with your special skill set. Be quick about it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So... quarters. This is a Mass Effect reference?
It feels like...
Janitor second class, Roger Wilco, reporting as ordered, ma'am.
Wilco, you say?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, Mr. Wilco, I expected you here some time ago. I've been kept waiting for minutes now.
I'm very sorry, Matt.
Ugh. Save the pathetic whimperings for your StarCon superiors, which I would expect includes everyone and everything on the food chain over there.
Ma'am, I came as...
Young man, I lack the time, and most importantly, the patience to indulge you as you whine your way from one excuse to the next. May we please just begin?
Just like pointing at me a lot.
Sorry, but I wasn't briefed on what tasks would be required of me.
You are a janitor, Mr. Wilco. What do you think I want from you, a heart transplant? What has become of StarCon? When my fifth husband, Admiral Bluntfang, served, the crop of up-and-coming cadets seemed to have such promise. I recall this one rather striking cadet who... Oh, well, never mind that. But you, I pray you do not typify what might be slithering down the halls of our formerly prestigious academy. That is one thing I do not look forward to witnessing. Get to work, Mr. Wilco. You'll find a mop and a bucket right over there. I have no time to devote to your education. That would take a lifetime, and the most copious amount of patience a universe could muster. My life is soon to expire. Please, just clean. I must rest now.
Okay, so she doesn't like us. Let's save. Bucket and a mop.
Like you need. Don't touch that.
Okay, so grabbing the mop. You think we'd get like a cool space mop, but it's just a bucket of water.
Mr. Wilco, please rattle the handle on that commode. It is positively maddening.
You got it, I mean, right away, ma'am. Whatever I can do.
Please do it, and quietly. I
That was
must
a
have
terrible
my
mopping
rest.
job.
Mr. Wilco, it is time for me to take my meds. Please fetch my trisonic sortium from the medicine cabinet.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Maybe I can get this old hag to overdose.
That's so mean.
What was that, janitor?
Nothing, ma'am. I'll get those for you right away. I can't find her medicine. I don't think she knows what she's talking about.
Ah!
Hey,
Okay.
what the...
While we await a fully formed thought from Roger, it should be mentioned that there seems to be some sort of gas entering the room through the left vent.
Hey, there seems to be some sort of gas entering the room through the left vent. I seem to be in a world of deep... Ah, jeez, the door!
Okay,
You summon the ability. You give the piston a yank, and sure enough, it comes loose in your hands. Perhaps it was your raw strength.
Did we just...
More than likely,
What do we do?
it was defective.
Okay, so I have the piston. I have a fish. Go.
Good thinking! Wedged in the door, the manual override control causes the piston to strain against the door. It pushes a few inches and seems to strain at that point.
Okay.
Wilco!
Oh, hi,
Save me
Stellar.
again.
What are you doing here?
There's no time to talk, Roger. We've got to get out of here now. 1, 2, 3.
No, Stellar. My wife.
Just as you crash to the
But
floor
my
of the
not
turbo
wife.
shaft, the hydro riser piston gives way, and the door slams shut, with Stellar still trapped inside. You claw and pull at the seams of the bulkhead door, but to no avail. Just then, you hear and feel an explosion, which seems to have come from behind
A
the
woman
door.
that was interested in me. No, please don't die. Oh, she's dead.
The door is sealed tight. You can hear no other noise after the ear ringing from the blast subsides.
Why does every woman that's interested in
My
me
God.
explode?
I can't believe this. It can't be happening. She was. I was. Stella!
Oh, I don't like that joke.
It's hard to believe that this is the Hollow Suite. The setting is much like the graphics you've scanned in the library from those planets more interesting in their climatic diversity. From the scenic jutting peaks, soft hills, and lake in the conjured distance to the lush, pixelized growth of trees, flowers, and grass in the foreground, the holodeck has that sublime park-like perfection. Unfortunately, its serene beauty is sadly negated by the headstones and the solemn event about to occur, the laying to rest of your rescuer and true friend, Stellar Santiago. You are feeling as you have never felt before, perhaps helped along by the relatively short stints aboard the various ships, as well as all too brief friendships. You've been spared the emotional devastation of true loss by lack of attachment. This, however, is a different feeling, far different from anything you've ever experienced. You can't help but wonder how you'd act towards Stellar given a second chance, but you know that can never happen. She gave her life for you, and you will never be able to thank her. Enough smarm already. Let's funeral.
Ladies and/or gentlemen, we assemble here today to honor the memory of a former crewmate, Lieutenant First Class Stella Santiago. Her unfortunate death takes place in the shadow of a new community, the dawning of a new life for the aged of our galaxy. Although death is never easy to accept, we must remember that the tragic accident which took her from our midst occurred while she was on duty. If a member of StarCon must perish for some reason, there is no more honorable way. It is part of the oath we recite and take to heart when we pledge our allegiance. I believe her friend, Janitor Second Class Roger Wilco, has a few words he'd like to say. Mr. Wilco?
So sad. Oh, and then we have a eulogy. We have a handwritten eulogy.
I only knew Stellar for a short time. I wish I could have gotten to know her much better. To have had a deeper understanding of this.
What if she
person
rises again?
I was proud
And this
to
is
have
an Easter
called
game.
friend. Of my friend, I can only say this. Of all the souls I have encountered in my cleaning, hers were the most scuff-resistant.
Oh, that was some animation. Oh, there was a hole in space. Look at Commander Kielbasa. Oh no, our friend. High automatic horse. Roger's quarters. Confirm. Was that a Zeniti? Is that a Star Trek thing? There's a lot of Star Trek references. I'm not gonna touch anything.
Wow, a message for me. I must be getting popular. I wonder what it is.
Roger, help me. I only have a moment. They faked.
Stellar, what happened?
She
The picture's
is
gone.
Jesus.
You alive?
She's risen. Oh my god, he has a giant cat bed because he's a big cat. I just realized that. I want a desk like that. Big cat bed.
Commander Kilbasa, you're going to think I'm crazy, but I've just received a distress message on my compost. And it was from Stellar.
Wilco, have you been whiffing cleaning fluid again?
Maybe.
I'm absolutely as sane as I've ever been. She's being held on Delta Berxilon by Sharpay.
Wilco, do you realize how irrational that sounds? We buried Stella. You were there. Maybe you need a rest. Take a couple of hours off.
Sir.
Wilco, we have our orders from StarCon and
Yeah,
we'll be
there's
carrying them
scratches.
out.
On his big cat
Drop
bed.
it, janitor. Leave the bridge now, Wilco. I've made my decision.
Okay. Database, living in a database. Whoa. Alright. Known races. And then for the Vulgars. The Vulgars are a peaceful race of brilliant and logical thinkers whose only real joy in life is to stride around the galaxy with superior attitudes and correct other people's grammar and spelling. They also enjoy designing outer space strategy simulation games. This makes them nearly as insufferable as university academics, but not as well paid. Considering their placid and studious lifestyle, it is interesting to note that the Vulgars have developed an extremely practical martial arts technique called the Vulgar Nerve Pinch. Oh. That's a start. The Vulcan nerve something, right? This is a tactile/oral maneuver in which the pincer pinches the bundle of nerve fibers at the base of the neck while whispering the dialogue from either Tango and Cash or Hudson Hawk. This particular combination of stimuli results in a searing flash of pain and then unconsciousness, which can last for several hours. This technique is demonstrated in the Hollow Joint program 551212. Okay. We're gonna learn the vulgar nerve pinch. Oh, he's crawling around in it! Oh, big cat. Big cat. I love big cat. So, intership transport. We're going back to the Hollow Cabana. I do like calling it the Hollow Cabana instead of the holodeck. So what we need is, hold on, let me save. Totally not Star Trek. Okay, it won't, that's too many letters. Alright, so we need 5. Oh, on. 5, 5, 5. Oh, that is a terrible blinking noise. 1, 2, 1, 2, enter.
Welcome to Hollow Suite Program 5551212, the Vulgar Nerve Pinch. Despite our reputation for being pacifist, we Vulgars have developed an extremely practical martial arts technique used mainly for defensive purposes. It is called the Vulgar Nerve Pinch. This is a tactile oral maneuver in which the applier pinches the bundle of nerve fibers at the base of the neck while whispering into the victim's ear dialogue from either Tango and Cash or Hudson Hawk.
I don't know why it's
This
those two
particular
movies.
combination of nerve stimuli and loss of cerebral control due to the torturous mantra of movie dialogue results in a searing flash of pain and then unconsciousness. In effect, it is similar to a temporary orally induced robotomy. Victims are soon rendered unconscious for
Don't try
several
this at
hours.
home, kids.
When they awaken, they will remember nothing of how they came to be unconscious, if they are extremely lucky. I shall demonstrate on my most eager volunteer. You will please to pay attention. Address the subject in this manner. Please to notice the location of my hand as I begin the narcotic chant of cinematic morphine.
Cinematic morphine.
He mutters something thankfully unintelligible into the ear of the volunteer.
Oh, Tango-san, maybe you can fetch me up with your sister. I have told you after her, and we're gonna have margaritas together. Oh, the two of us get we have fun. Oh, get a hubba going in the wee, and I just like that. We
What?
So, as you can see, it is very effective. If you can apply a proper grip to the neck, it will disable 9 out of 10 neck-bearing species. This completes our program. Thank you.
Oh, okay. I guess we learned it. Okay. So let's go back here. Alright. What if I don't know any of the dialogue from Tango and Cash? I like that our, like, clothes fly off. Don't worry, everyone knows the dialogue from Tango and Cash.
Hello, Roger. Please join me in consuming something.
Thanks, Sydney.
Oh, Sydney seems nice.
You seem uptight.
Say what? Upright? What are you talking about, Sydney?
Uptight was the word. Perhaps that is too archaic a reference for you. It would have been more effective to say that you seem concerned.
Oh, yeah. I do have a thing or two, well, at least something on my mind.
I am sorry to hear this. I hope your concerns are soon alleviated.
Thanks, Sid. I do have to come up with some solutions.
Hi, Sid. So he's helpful, so we're gonna keep talking to him.
Sorry, this...
Sydney, I have a favor I'd like to ask of you.
Flame away, Roger. You know I'd give you my right appendage if you needed it.
Funny you should say that, Sydney. I kind of have this situation where
Hi, Jeff.
that very item could come in handy.
Really? Well, I was merely saying that metaphorically.
You really are a great friend, Sydney. That'll come in real handy. I can't thank you enough, Sydney.
Thank you for the arm, Sydney.
Well, if you really are seriously in need of it, I suppose I could lend it to you. You will get it right back to me, won't you, Roger?
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah. You bet your nut flanges, Sydney.
Okay, so we're gonna take his arm. Talk to him again.
Sure, it's hard not to want to stroke Sydney's buffed exterior, but that would be impolite.
No, it wouldn't. Touch him.
Sydney, I kind of need another favor. I need one of your eyes.
Pardon me, Roger. For a second, I thought you said you also wanted one of my eyes. I must have my auditory circuits diagnosed.
Well, actually, Sydney, I could use one of your eyes.
Are you certain, Roger? Well, I guess if you really need it...
Aw, thank you, Sydney.
Oh, I do. I really do, Sydney. You're a mechanized lifesaver.
You will return them soon, right, Roger?
Oh, of course, Sydney. Real soon. Listen, I've got a couple of things I've got to attend to. I'll see you soon. Thanks, Sydney.
Take him one of his eyes in his arms.
As long as you say it will be soon, Roger.
We're such a jerk.
Oh, yeah. See you soon, Sydney.
Okay. We just robbed that guy blind. Or half blind, I guess. Hands. And now we gotta go to the sick bay. That was pelvis. Was that pelvis? There was a guy in the back. Was that pelvis? From the rug that we danced on an hour ago? Okay. Open drawer on the far right.
That's delightfully non-helpful.
We do this.
That's delightful.
The game does not like it when we run into the assistant.
It's soft. It's soft, yet.
Okay, drawer.
It's soft, yet. It's soft. Don't pick at it, you'll...
Drawer on the far right. What does that mean?
It's soft. It's soft. It's soft. It's soft.
Oh! How are you supposed to know that? How? I would not, like, that's hard. Okay. Okay, so now we... Shuttle bay entrance. Room transport. Okay. And Vulcan nerve pinch, or vulgar nerve pinch. A legally distinct vulgar nerve pinch.
Boy, I got you with my fingers in your Kurt Russell. Now you can't get away. I got you now that you've got a... Hard to believe this is a real job. Oh, my God.
Was that Tango and
So,
Cash
how
or
come you're not
Hudson
going down?
Hawk?
I got you with your mumble jumbo and your hubba chubba. Oh, boy. If I only could, I would. Jeez. Why don't you step outside, pal? I got you with this and I think I broke a fingernail here.
Ow! Alright, so we're in the brig. Why is the future just a series of tubes? Is that what's like the most...
Don't pick at it. What are you, plastic man? You can't possibly reach anything outside this cell when you're locked in.
Okay. I guess, okay, now we can have food.
This is some very fine food, whatever it is. I'm sure you'll find it quite to your liking. Heck, it's probably better than what they feed you janitors. Live it up! Oh, that darn light needs to be amplified. I need to contact maintenance.
What was this thing over here?
In desperation, you attempt to bend the bars, roll the toilet. Unfortunately, there are...
Okay, I got all the food. Don't shoot me. Mr. Solvent. You think it was a ref... Oh, yeah, the Forbidden Planet. Gravity sucks. It's good graffiti. But have you seen the Forbidden Planet automatic horse? Years ago. Alright, so we have...
Cool. Bobbit kebabs. They whip up some interesting food items in this joint.
It's a plate of grill hair spaghetti. It's a bottle of morphine.
Ooh, morphine. Okay, so we'll put...
You poke it and prod it. In this galaxy, those two...
Wait, what is this?
It's one of the interestingly shaped pastries you took from the food.
I remember what this is. It's a rack of Orat. Haven't seen this stuff since Space Quest 1.
Space Quest 1! There's an arm, eyeball.
It's a tuberous growth of some sort from the food cart. These look like something they cleaved from the side of Yoda's head.
Okay, so we're gonna use these.
Now it has some cool ears.
We've got some ears on our kebabs. Now use that with the
The rack
Orat.
of Orat adds a nice touch.
They gave us a lot of food. And then on the...
An interesting idea. Something's starting to take shape. What are you up to, Roger? A touchment of that adds something more to your work in progress.
We're making a food sculpture of ourselves. And then the melon.
How creative.
And then the pasta's hair.
That's a nice touch.
Okay.
Golly, this food looks so good it might be worth becoming a prisoner for. Yeah, like I'd sure want to be in your position. Not!
Wow.
It probably seemed like a good idea to you at one...
Oh, I see you have a visitor. I'll leave you two alone, but you know the rules. 10 more minutes and they have to leave.
Oh shoot.
Yikes, it's a good thing Dorf's so vain about wearing his prescribed much thicker glasses. That was too close. I nearly dampened an undergarment.
Okay. Alright, I messed up the timing on that. But, so while we have to wait for Dorf to come back. So in the meantime, I can't not laugh before doing this. Thank you for the redeem. Yeah, that's definitely a Forbidden Planet reference.
This is some very fine food, whatever it is.
It's a
Get in there, get in there, get in there. $700 more seeds. Okay, we're free.
Nice work. Sometimes you actually surprise me.
Okay, let's save. Food pile. Oh, that music was not good. It sounded good for a minute. Wait, do I have... Okay, I do have the donut. So I need to go... Intership transport. To the shuttle bay entrance again. And then, so what we have to do is pockets. I put the morphin in the donut.
Good thinking.
And I've got my
In
drug
this
donut.
galaxy, those...
And I put it there. So he's gonna eat it now. I like the eyes. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. It's a cow. I guess that's what morphin does. It makes you morph. Please tell me what. Oh my god, that's from King's Quest 6. I love that song. Was that an Elton John singing Girl in the Tower joke? That's amazing. Alright, and now vulgar nerve pinch.
Ooh, boy, I got you with my fingers.
Is
in
anyone
your
gonna get a
Russell.
reference
Now
to the
you
Warner
can't
Brothers
get
frog?
away.
I mean, I feel like it's been a meme. It's like, it's been a meme enough, like, it's been a joke for long enough.
Oh, so how come you're not going down? I got you with your
I've never seen the original, but I've seen
chili.
plenty of
Boy,
references.
If I only could, I would. Jeez, why don't you step outside, pal? I got you with this, and I think I broke a fingernail here.
got his keyring.
Okay. Okay, so what we do is we need to hit both of these buttons at the same time. So we're gonna borrow Sydney's arm. Thank you for your arm, Sydney. Ew, I didn't like that one. Okay. Oh, and then we need to figure out which ship is ours.
Careful, combining those items. The
That one's
shuttle's alarm
ours.
is now deactivated.
This one's ours.
If you were aiming for the shuttle hatch, you missed. But if you just wanted to inspect the hull of the shuttle for microfractures and embedded particulate matter, you were incredibly successful. If you were aiming for the shuttle,
Is that the hatch? That's the hatch. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna save. Holy shit. I'm very funny. Okay, so now we're gonna grab whatever that is. Okay, recall. Oh god, I need a note. I need a notepad. I need to write something down. Okay, we have to write down what has the positives and the negatives. So the O has the negatives, and that like W kind of thing had the positives. Okay. Sit down.
It feels slightly gritty.
Okay, and power button. And then the ICD button. The current confirmation code is lasagna. This relates to the periodic table of elements. What? So we need.
That's delight. That would.
So we need to change that to lethanium. And then the sulfur. SA. Fuel tank 3 is silver. AG. Lazat. Silver. And then neon is NE. Okay. Okay, click on movies and games. Stand by for retinal scan. And we have an eyeball.
Let's see if this sucker works.
Thanks, Sydney.
Here's your fish!
Why are they throwing fish at me? Is it just a running joke? The graphics. The fire. Oh, and the audio cut out. Cool. Alright.
Janitor Wilco, what are you doing? You have no authorization to take that shuttle. To make matters worse, you have launched into the middle of a super double reverse anti-anomaly. You will turn that ship around immediately and head back to the shuttle bay. Do you understand, Wilco?
Bite me, Commander.
Ooh, a bite
What
me.
was that last transmission, Wilco?
We're having a little problem with the signal, sir. I mean, with all due respect, sir, I did plead with you not to leave Stellar behind. Sir, I sense that something's just not right with that community. I don't believe Stellar is dead, and I just can't leave her there. I'm going to do this, sir, regardless of the consequences. Stellar saved my life not once, but twice. I owe her.
Well, that was her own stupid mistake. I demand that you return at once, Wilco.
Oh, wow.
If you do so and surrender now, your record will be taken into consideration during your disciplinary hearing.
Oh, that'll help you loads.
I'm sorry, sir, but I just can't. I have to do this.
Wilco, you fool!
Just then, the shuttle is sucked into the anti-anomaly. Communication with the deep ship has been disrupted.
Oh no, the deep ship. Oh, more graphics. Cutting edge 3D graphics. Okay. I'm gonna save my totally not girlfriend. Alright. Okay, so what do we...
This is the main cockpit display. Various subsystems of the shuttle are monitored and controlled from here.
Okay, so what do we do right now? So let's... click that button.
Sir, I am unable to access the navigational computer. I am guessing that it may have overloaded just as the divalium crystal somehow went offline. Once repairs have been made and the shuttle engines have been refired, I believe I can follow the deep ship's ion trail back to Delta Berxalon 5.
That would be quite cool, Manuel. You sure about that?
My boy Manuel.
Once the divalium crystal has been repaired, our electrical system reestablished, and the engines fired, I am 97.2% certain.
Why only 97.2%?
I judged 97.2% to sound more hip to our audience than would 100. You would have to mention it.
Sorry.
Don't apologize to me. It's the players you ruined it for.
Yeah, I ruined it. And then they look at us. I don't like that. Okay.
It wouldn't be prudent.
Okay, so I got that. Got a bunch of stuff from the glove box. A spaceship. Spacesuit.
You pinch yourself.
No, I wanted to look at that. Helmet, please. Oh, and then I also needed to do some other things in the seat. Let's see.
My sole purpose is to help you, sir.
Oh, and then there's trunk.
You
and,
pull the handle and hear something release
and then
on
there's
the
HUD,
outside
like it's
of
a
the
car.
shuttle.
And it's the hood. Okay, pockets. Put that on. And then helmet is also important.
In this
Oh god, I feel like I should save. Holy shit. 2. Hi, good morning, David. Alright. How do I leave? Handle. Okay. Okay, so we got... What did we grab? Okay, we got all the stuff from the trunk.
These are the shuttle's jumper cables. That sure doesn't make you feel real secure about this spacecraft if those are standard
So we have
equipment.
jumper cables. We've got...
It's a tube of Elmo's Gluezol.
Some Elmo's glue.
It's the pump you retrieve from the shuttle trunk. It reminds you of one of those hand pumps you use when the astrohead plugs up. It's the most indispensable item in the universe. Duct tape.
Yeah. Duct tape. How are you today, David? David Alexander 82. Okay, so now we got that.
Boy, it would appear.
So we have a help sign. Okay, we put it on. Time passes. More time passes. Am I playing chess in space? I can kind of see why there's a lot of cutscenes. Like, especially, like, this is, I feel like these jokes run a bit too long.
Hello, sweetheart. You look like you could use a little assistance. Is there anything I can do?
Well, yes, there is. Thanks for stopping.
Well, you just name it, I guess.
Ah, she sounds
It
cute.
seems I've stalled my engines. Could you give me a jump? I have cables.
I'd jump you in a heartbeat, dollface. I guess you must have got caught up in that anti-anomaly. It can be a real pain in
I'm
the...
sorry about the hiccups.
Well, anyway, let's get it done.
Well, here's your end of the cables.
I'll let you know when I'm all hooked up.
Ow. Hiccups hurt.
Contact!
Alright, click where we want to put the red cable. Put it on... Oh, right! This was, from that recall piece of paper we had. So... No, it was a piece of paper in the ship. I'm hiccuping so much. I'm so sorry. Yeah, so there was a piece of paper. It's in our pocket, if we want to look at it.
It's the recall notice. It reads, Dear Ham Shuttle Owner, it has come to our attention that there is a minor misprint in the owner's manual for the 1000 series of shuttles. Until a new manual can be acquired, please disregard page 73, paragraph 4 of that manual.
Yeah, so, yeah, it should now read, as any moron knows when jumping the 1000 series, please match the plus cable end with the W pole and the minus cable with the O pole. Thank you for flying a hamster. Okay, so the red cable. Click where we want the blue cable.
Okay, Manual. We're all hooked up. Give it a try.
Yay!
Bye-bye, Sugar Bunny.
Bye-bye.
I gotta be running along.
Hey, thanks for stopping to help me.
See ya.
Sugar Bunny, I did. Oh. Oh no! Oh! Wrigley, like Riley, Ripley from Alien. Oh no! I don't want her to die.
It feels like that. It feels.
Oh, this hiccuping will not stop.
You neatly replace the EVA suit in its proper place.
Oh, hold on. Ah, shoot, I needed to...
You pinch it. The shuttle feels...
Oh, no, don't go out, don't go out. I need to put the stuff on. There was something outside I forgot. I think it was this. Oh, that was the fish. That was the fish that people
Let's
keep throwing
look at it
us.
together and see what we can see, okay?
Alright, people just keep throwing this
It
fish at
wouldn't-
us.
It wouldn't.
And I don't know why.
You neatly replace the EVA.
Okay. So we have pockets. Okay. I don't... So I have my morphin, I got my fish. Oh, okay. So... There we go.
It feels nice. Wow. Crystal seems to have broken. I swear it wasn't me.
Okay.
Now we're in deep.
Hey, I've gotten us this far, haven't I?
I've done it, not you.
Yes, and what a wonderful place it is. How did I get hooked up in this deal? My agent's going to be hearing from me big time.
Alright, so we're gonna use good old Elmo's glue. Whop. And then...
This is the data.
Okay.
This button opens and
And then we're gonna open. Okay, mouth for glue. Let's try. No, we just have hands and eyes for like the actual items. And now we have a tiny crystal, so let's...
Excellent guess, Kreskin. Wrong, but excellent.
Oh, okay, we have to put glue...
You pour glue.
There we go.
In this galaxy,
Now we got our gluey crystal.
you hold the glue-coated segment to the broken Devalium crystal for 10 seconds to set the glue.
Yeah, it's usually taw. Yeah, it's talk. I do wonder if with Space Quest 5 they just had the stuff from Space Quest 5 and 4, if they had just like the interface, because Leisure Suit Larry had lick and smell too in addition to speak. I'm wondering if they just like copy and pasted from, I don't know. Okay.
It feels nice.
The shuttle.
Oh, okay, we put the thing back on. And now let's go sit down.
Good work, sir. I believe I can now follow the ion trail of Deep Ship 86 back to Delta Berxalon 5.
All right. Yay. Look at these graphics. Ah, the future. The future of 1996. Alright, let's save. Ba 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 ba. Oh, words are hard. Delta baby. Alright, save. Okay. Hands. Okay, good. I don't need the EVA suit. So let's go to Lab A. All right. And eat.
Wow, a mad scientist working on a planet called Delta Berxalon. You wonder what he's doing here? Designing women, perhaps? Sorry?
What? Is the narrator just fantasizing about designing women?
You have surprisingly little to say to the chair.
I didn't want to talk to the chair. I want to talk to the guy.
Hello, Doctor.
Janitor Wilco? What in blazes are you doing here?
Well, Doc, I got a distress call.
So why are you here?
Oh, this voice sounds familiar.
Because I know it originated here. In fact, it was from Stellar Santiago.
You're out of your mind, Wilco. Now go away and leave me alone. I've got important work to do. Goodbye.
I know something's up here, Doc, and I'm gonna get to the bottom of it. You'll be sorry, pal.
Yes, whatever you say, Wilco. Just get out of my face.
Alright, so he's gone, which means I can touch his box of high-tech stuff.
You have no use for that, you silly little janitor.
Okay.
You take possession of the Callahan Muddy. You have no use for that, you...
Alright.
You have no use...
I guess that's the only thing that we need. Ooh, what's this?
This is the only piece of equipment in the lab that's totally unfamiliar to you. It appears biomechanical in nature with a metallic skin that seems to expand and contract slightly.
Ooh.
Hey, they've got their own multiband UV wave bath straight out of the Ed Mundane catalog.
Ed Mundane? I don't know if that's a joke. I don't know what that joke's supposed to be. I'm so far removed from these references.
The door is a microbe-safe biofilter with quad...
Oh, there's the button. I gotta hit the button. My jam. Song's my jam. I guess we just needed that one thing.
Sir, I believe I may be able to tap myself into the PTS and perform a limited set of functions.
PTS?
Yes, sir. PTS, the Photo Triangulation System. It was installed as a crude backup navigational device to the modern navigational computer system. It's what you see before you mount it in the middle view screen.
A PTS. Okay.
That wouldn't prove... Don't. You'll distort the optics, making it inoperable.
Oh, I have to hit this button. Okay. And then... Oh my gosh, it's like a Polaroid. Okay.
You peel apart the photo and negative from your first PTS image. You peel apart the photo and negative from the second PTS image.
Okay.
That wouldn't prove fulfilling.
So we have... Grab the photograph and push the red... Okay, above the PTS is a small blue screen. Place the positive from the first photograph. And then... And then the negative... Oh wait, oh god, which one's the negative and which one's the positive?
It's the negative from the second
Dang
PTS
it.
image.
I did it wrong. Okay, so I need to take that back.
It's the first positive image from the PTS.
Okay, so we'll do
You get fingerprint.
the positive and then the negative from the second one.
The PTS is online and working. We can now launch to polysorbate.
Okay. Jeez, that's like that I feel like that just hasn't aged well because what even are negatives and positives? Okay. So, ooh, movies.
Cool. This button is for the movies option package available in the DS-86 series of shuttles. Too bad StarCon was way too cheap to spring for it.
Aww. What about games?
Cool. This button is for the games option package available on the DS-86 series. Too bad StarCon was way too cheap to spring for it.
Dang it.
These are navigational system readouts.
Okay.
This button activates. This is the main cockpit display. That's manual override, your holographic navigator.
Manual override. That's pretty good.
Obviously this looks to be just. This looks like the launch initiation button. At least that's delightful. It feels. Don't touch that. We don't know where you've been.
Okay, now we need to figure out how to go. Okay, we have the fuel.
That's delightful.
There we go. So we're gonna go to polysorbate LX. Okay.
What may I do for you, sir?
Beam me down, Manny!
Step over to the transport pad and I will beam you down to the surface of polysorbate.
Beam me down.
Manual tosses you a transport signaler.
You can only use this from the place I beam you to.
Alright, so that's how we get back up on the ship. Oh, cool, it worked this time. I'm going to save. Poly. Alright. Okay, feet. Man, the music got so soft all of a sudden. All the way up. I don't know what happened to the... I don't know what happened. Details all the way up, baby. Okay. Alright. Okay, now that's loud again. Ah! Lobe piercing. Let's get that. This brain says Abby normal. Fresh. With airbag.
It's the Callahan Modi you scavenged from Delta Berxalon.
Alright, so this is an implant, so we're gonna... They'll probably want this.
Hello there, Mr. Blatz. I think I have something you might be interested
Yep,
in.
young Frankenstein.
Think so, hey?
Oh, I really think you'll find it interesting.
Ooh! Why, I'd love to take that off your hands. Of course, you realize that it's illegal to sell those, but I could trade you for something. Look around and see what interests you.
I could really use a cyberspace jack.
Tell you what, I'll trade you for one of those fine specimens in the case. What do you say?
No, I want the jack or it's no deal.
Or the fresh
Oh,
brand.
now take it easy, Sonny. I think we can do business.
Oh, that grade A animation.
I'm glad you see it my way. It's been a pleasure. Take care, Fester. I gotta fly.
All right. Ooh, so we have a jack now. All right. So now let's go feet. Where was my... There we go. Oh, we beaming. Okay, we're beamed back up.
Then, the Galactican said, if I did have hover capabilities, I wouldn't need the cleft snorter. Excuse me, sir. How may I enhance your efforts?
How may I enhance your efforts?
Don't touch that.
And then let's go back to Delta Work Salon. The graphics. The impressive graphics. All right. And hands, go. Go, hands, go. Bum, 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 clap, and sing a song. I'm gonna save. We're gonna be Cyberpunk 1996.
You're hesitant.
I still haven't played Cyberpunk. Is it, like, good?
You're... That's an interesting idea. Not a good one, but interesting nonetheless.
Okay, how do I sit down? There we go, I'm sitting.
In this excellent guess, Credit. As cool as...
There's
an interesting idea. That's an interesting idea. Not a good one, but interesting.
Oh, I should turn it on first.
Excellent guess.
Wait, what? Oh, right, I need to use hands. Then
That's an
cyber functions. Oh no, I'm gone. Whoa. Alright, I'm gonna save again. Oh, it's the information super high. Oh, okay. That's why it's a highway. That's kind of cool. It's like an Escher. Oh, that's kind of cool. Where do I go now? Or do I go this way? Okay, there we go. I click, click. Oh, bird seed.
Talk about a brave new world. You'd better be up for it if you plan to explore this cyber terrain. This cyber terrain is just a little...
Alright, cyber terrain. MC Escher, more like MC, yeah, sure. You get one more of those. Well, I feel like this is a more interesting way of, like, walking than traverse this deadly cliff that's hard. Alright, so are we getting any closer? Okay. Over here now? Alright. Okay. Alright, my brain hurts. Alright, but if I see David Bowie dancing down some sideways stairs, I'm out of here. Yeah. Okay, we need to get to the office. There we go. I kind of appreciate that that wasn't, like, I appreciate that wasn't a puzzle, really. Like, there weren't wrong places. Pardon our dust. Future site of the information superhighway. What? Why are they dead?
It looks like some poor slob actually waited for his number to be called and died for his troubles.
What? What is this?
Next.
Oh, shoot, I needed to grab something outside.
A rag hangs from the sawhorse. Who knows what it last wiped up?
Okay.
A rag hang... You summon... There's nothing you can do now. It did have potential at one time.
Oh, I need this plank.
Bet you can't fit that thing in your pants.
I bet I can.
Guess I was wrong. It does fit. There must be plenty of spare room in there.
was that? I have got a plank, and I've got a screwdriver. Okay. Let's just save again. Cyberpunk 1996. The Pojo? What do you think the Pojo is? Oh, the screensaver. This is pretty funny. Okay.
Does your number match the one shown by the counter?
No, I don't seem to have that one, but...
Oh, I am sorry, sir. Strangely enough, there's no provision for buts in this system. You either have the number shown or you do not. Now, please await the calling of your number. Thank you very much. I have important things to do.
Okay. So let's
Next.
take a number.
That's delightfully non-helpful.
Okay. Oh, so we had number 3 and she's on number 7. But we can use the screwdriver to turn it back. Oh, click the candy.
You virtually eat the nearly real mint. Your virtual breath is now virtually minty fresh.
Okay, so we have our number. We'll show it to her.
Does your number match the one shown by the counter?
As a matter of fact, I do possess that number. Read it and weep, Pixel Woman.
Oh no, you can't possibly. Oh. Well, I guess you're right.
Aha!
You bet your palate, little 32 by 32 pixel mama.
Alright, I'm in the files. Okay.
Massive file cabinets stretch off into the distance. This should be a cinch.
Oh yeah, easy. I mean, there wasn't that much data in 96, so...
That wouldn't it feels like... It wouldn't be...
Okay. Oh, this is wrong. What do I need? I need J through R. J, K, L, M, N. Oh, I think I have to keep walking down. E, Q, R.
Man, these filing cabinets are a mess. Even I could keep them up better than this.
Oh, I have to...
Man, these filing...
I have to make steps.
Man, these Man, these...
Oh...
Man, these
Rancid Nigel. Okay. Alright, so let's read his file. Nigel Rancid and his brother Signet are hired thugs. Most recently, the Rancid brothers have been employed by Dr. Hayden Belarus and Sharpay of the Golden Light Years Retirement Community on Delta Berkson 5. Cross-reference Belarus and Sharpay Santiago. Santiago. That's Stellar's name. so we gotta find. So we need to find. This is kind of cool. It's like not very interesting, but it's like a neat idea. So now we need. No, that's not what I wanted to do. I didn't want to leave. No! Okay, cool. Oh my gosh. Okay, I can go back in. Ooh. So let's try... We need to get up to that B.
That file apparent. That file. That file. That file.
Okay, so they don't let us. Kind of reminds me of Terry Gilliam's Brazil. Okay, we got his file. So now let's get Santiago.
That file. 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 That file.
So they don't.
That wouldn't prove fulfilling.
San Sochi.
That file. That file. That file. That file. That file. That file. That file.
So they only let you open up the ones that you can actually open, which is nice. Nope, I wanted to look at that.
Man, these filing.
That file.
Okay, gotta get up in there on the feet, please. Feet, please. Thank you, feet. Sharpay. Sherman Williams. Alright, pockets. Dr. Hayden Belarus is the Chief Medical Administrator of the Golden Light Years Retirement Community. He has gained much notoriety over his controversial efforts to mitigate the effects of, some say altogether eliminate, aging. Cross-reference Sharpay and Santiago. Corpsman Stellar Santiago was a member of the Starcon fleet before her departure from this world while attempting to rescue a janitor second class who was stationed aboard the SCS Deep Ship 86. Cross-reference Sharpay and Belarus. A philanthropist of the First Order, the benefactress of many good causes, is known throughout the universe simply as Sharpay. Sharpay's most recent project has been Golden Light Years Retirement Community on Delta Berkson 5, where she hopes to spend her declining years. Always thinking of others, this grand lady will leave a legacy of charitable works behind her when she goes. Cross-references Belarus, Santiago, additional cross-reference Project Immortality. Ooh. Project Immortality, baby. I wonder what that's about. I can't imagine what it would be about.
That fine.
And beat. And beat.
General drawer failure. Please step off and try another approach. You get the eye. General draw. You
Dang
get
it. Okay. That's not right. I don't know, some kind of immortality project. It beats me. Okay. Oh, we walk up automatically. That's fancy. Okay, so we need Project Immortality. The holy grail of narcissists everywhere. Project Immortality is the cold, hard scientific name applied to the cold, hard science that the fountain of youth of our times. Project Immortality is funded by Sharpay and overseen by controversial Dr. Hayden Belarus. It promises humankind the hopes of ages eternal life. Sure makes marriage a scary proposition though, doesn't it? Cross-reference Endgame. Okay. Are we in Endgame now? Is this a Avengers reference? So I guess, can we get Project Endgame? I'm gonna save just in case this is a bad thing. Bum, bum. Oh my god, what's in there?
that fine. That fine. That fine. That fine. That.
Okay, so we can't.
That fire. That fire. That fire. That.
Yep, we cannot get Project Endgame. That file. I think we can now use we can now print the
The
files.
cyber printer accepts your cyber file gratefully and begins to print. The question is, what exactly is the output of a cyber printer?
Okay.
Next.
Print all these. Okay. So now one more. Last thing.
Well, what do you know? Maybe there is something to this superhero reputation thing after all. And after that episode with the egg beater, I thought you'd never impress me again.
Okay, we got feet.
Next.
There we go. Exit. Exit. Thank you. All right. Back to this. Except that nifty plank we got, we can put it down.
You
That's a big
smartly
plank.
drop the board in place, spanning the gap between the two bridge sections.
Look at our walk. This guy was like pretty chill for just letting us use his computer and printer. Uh-oh. Threatening jingle jangles of the cat. Alright. Let's save. Got our printed files. And then we're gonna show them to this doctor.
Well, Dr. Bellows, I think you've got some explaining to do.
You're out of your mind, Wilco.
So, what do you have to say for yourself now, Doctor?
Confronted with the facts found in the files you located, he freaks and spills all.
Oh, my...
Eloquently stated.
She does have spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle.
I didn't think this all the way through until I'd crossed my own personal ethical line. I was already... It had already gone too far. The experiments alone... I thought I could do just this one thing and still live with myself. Love can move a person to do some strange things, Wilco. She knew how I felt and used it to her advantage.
I think I know what you mean about that love thing, but wait a minute. Slow down. Are you saying you have the hots for... I mean, you are actually romantically intrigued by Sharpay? Wow. You are serious. I agree that love can make you do some weird stuff. In this case, though, it made you do some stuff that was unethical and illegal, Doctor.
Isn't that only what's worth doing for
Where
love?
is Stellar Santiago? I know she was alive, that her death was faked. What have you done with her?
Great Caesar's ghost. The woman, she's still alive, but I'm afraid not much time remains.
She is? What do you mean not much time remains?
As you must realize by now, the Golden Light Years project was merely a front for the research I'd been conducting per Sharpay's wishes. She is intensely fearful of death. You probably didn't notice that she is getting up in age a bit.
Yeah, actually, it's pronounced
Who could have guessed
Kaisar.
that?
In very simple terms, Janitor Wilco.
That's janitor, second class, pal. And don't you forget it.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Janitor second class. As I was saying, Sharpay feared dying, enough to take the lives of others to save her own. She knew I loved her. I remember the day I met her. It was at the funeral of... Oh, I believe it was her fourth husband, and I remember never having seen her look so radiant. I fell for her, hard, and she knew it. You should have seen her in black.
This cutscene's running a bit long.
I'll pass, thanks. Just tell me about Stellar.
Okay. The bottom line is that I have developed a way to extend Sharpay's life by transferring her mental essence into the body of another. It was to be you until your friend Stellar Santiago got in the way. We thought no one would miss you. Go
Wait.
figure.
She was gonna put...
What I have done is to employ nanotechnology to take over the designated host body, as is happening with your friend as we speak.
Stellar's body is being taken over by Sharpay? Jeez. I don't understand. Is there anything we could do to stop it?
I've never really thought of it that way.
Well, think about it now. We have to save Stellar. You can't let her die. You can redeem yourself at least to some degree, Doc.
As much as it pains me to admit it, you're right, Roger. You're right. Okay, I think I may have a plan. We can save her. There are some interesting spin-off technological breakthroughs. I'm going to send you in to stop Sharpay.
Say what? No, I don't think...
That's actually kind of cool.
It's her only chance. If you seriously care for your friend, you'll do this.
Oh, the only way, huh?
The only way.
The only way.
Well, okay then. I hope you're sure about this.
I'm positive. Here's how we shall go about it. You will move your shuttle into Lab B. Meanwhile, I will generate new software for your shuttle's navigational system, which will help you locate the nanites, the very small robotic devices I developed for the intrusion. One of them is Sharpay.
I mean, this whole
If you
series
can
is like
stop
just
Sharpay,
references on references.
Well, your friend's chances of survival improve immensely. Then, once I have located and extracted you, I shall work to repair whatever damage may have been done to Stellar during the attempted incursion.
Yeah, we're definitely doing inner space.
The shuttle is nicely miniaturized by the beam deal. Hopefully, it is reversible. Perhaps you should have asked about that. There are some things you can't afford to have smaller.
Like my brain? And then he crushes me. Wow, that's actually creepy. I feel like they didn't really establish just how weird his face was until just now. Oh wait, we still haven't given Sydney back his arm. He needs that. A blood vessel. Ew. Oh yeah, it's Body Wars. Oh, okay. Alright. Save. Body Wars. We'll save it as Body Wars. Body Wars. Oh, remember Stooge Fighter? Okay, Body Wars. Replace. Okay. Oh, I guess that's why this is called the Spinal Frontier. That makes sense. The name makes sense now. Is there like there's no music. Okay. That's weird that it cut out. Alright, let's hands. Take the helmet. Take the suit. And put the stuff on.
It just doesn't work that way.
Okay. I guess you can't put on the helmet first. Alright, and then it says we don't need to worry about the helmet, so I'm trusting you. Trusting you. We're just in a bunch of blood. Okay. This is weird, and I don't like the noises.
You gently...
Tenderness. Swelling. Could be the body's natural defenses responding normally to the injection of a large male sanitation engineer.
I don't like being in the body. What am I doing? Okay. God, this is so gross to me. Okay. Where do I go? Wait, do I go back in? Do I not need to be
This
outside?
heat tile looks loose. Whoops. I have to stop doing that.
Okay.
This heat tile... Whoop.
I tried walking
You
up
need me-
around... tried walking up and around everything. Maybe I can fly in it?
Don't touch that.
Perhaps I'd get farther if I kept the subroutine disc in its slot.
Oh, okay. Is that what this is?
It's the subroutine program disc the doctor gave you to be able to navigate. It would appear that... It would appear...
Where's my cutie at? Hi, cutie. Alright, we're scanning her. Nanities found.
This is the shuttle's cock. It wouldn't be prudent.
Okay,
It feels...
Perhaps I'd get farther if I kept the subroutine disc.
I do not know how to work this. Okay. Choose the CD. Keep it in the subroutine. Nanites found. So there's one like in her stomach and there's one in her head. I think that's what it's telling us. So
These are not... This button act...
can we activate Manuel again?
Oh, that's right.
Dang
Manual's
it.
offline in here.
I don't...
Don't touch that. Don't touch that.
Let's just watch some movies. Okay. Let's try that. We know there's something in the stomach. And something in the head.
The walls of the broken blood vessel feel like the heavy gauge rubber of a coolant hose. In fact, the body resembles a car in many respects. It needs fuel to run and converts that fuel into energy. Our digestive system is like a fuel tank, and our nostrils act like a catalytic converter.
Oh, oh, that was something we could go in. Okay. Okay, we're climbing. Okay. Feather.
You summon the ability. You acquire a candy.
Candy.
I already have.
Oh my god, she ate a staple? Okay, so we have this.
Interesting. The acid rises, but just not quite high enough to submerge those nanites.
Okay. Had more candies.
You acquire... Interesting. The acid rises, but just not quite high enough to submerge those nanites.
Oh, is this something?
Your utterances fall.
Oh, that was also something I could grab. Okay. I don't know. Okay, alright.
You acquire a candy.
A candy.
Interesting. The acid rises, but just not quite high enough to submerge those nanites.
Okay, I have a grappling hook. We're climbing. Spectacular animation. Ooh, that would hurt.
Nice shot.
That would hurt so much. What about the fish? What fish? Is there fish down here? I don't know. They keep... Ew, a Twinkie. No, there's a pill. Okay. Now we are going to tickle her throat as she coughs. Okay, and we fell in the Twinkie. Big Twinkie. Alright, so we killed. Okay. Killed the nanites. This is definitely how humans work. Better than Body Wars. Better than Body War. It's fine. I'm gonna save it. Let's go this way. More like body horrors. Yeah. Okay, take this tunnel. This is terrible. I don't like being in the body. Ooh, what is this?
Wow, check out all that bile. Looks like her liver's been doing just fine. That's a pool of bile any liver would be proud of. You sure can't speak highly of its aroma.
I don't think I'm in the right spot. Cause this is the liver, right? I think I need to. Where's? I don't think I'm in the right spot.
That sounds like a good idea, but it won't help here.
I don't want to mess up. Okay. Oh, I need my helmet. I didn't bring my helmet. Ah. It's getting hot in my room. Okay. Climbing up the walls of my girlfriend's stomach. What are you jingle jangling back there, cat?
You neatly reply.
I needed that.
You pinch yourself. It probably.
Alright, yeah, get dressed.
Judging, but you're...
Eat. Oh, I hate the noises. I hate the noises.
An interesting... Don't touch that. An interesting idea.
Okay, so we have this. Walk south. Okay. This isn't right. Okay, what am I doing? Okay. It says there's a glowing entrance on the right, but they have to be left. There's only the left way to go. Bum, bum, bum. Man, this is tricky.
It's the pump you retrieved from the shuttle trunk. It reminds you of one of those hand pumps you use when the astrohead plugs up.
Okay. Fish. Okay, go south. And then east. Going up. I work, Katie. Okay. What am I?
This is the cystic duct. You are quite near where the gallbladder becomes part of the bile parade.
Ooh, bile parade. The duodenum.
This... A large gallstone hangs above the entrance to the gallbladder.
Okay.
This
is right. This is right. I'd hate being in the body. Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, and I seldom am, that's the mucosa, or inner lining of the gallbladder. It helps make the bile even more vile by absorbing spare water content. Here before you in all its magnificence is the gallbladder. Wasn't this worth the trip?
The Bile Parade, the less popular album from My Chemical Romance, yeah. Okay. So I gotta use the duct tape on something.
It would appear that... It would appear... Boy, it would appear that... It would appear... Axel...
Huh, where are the capillaries?
Hey, don't put your mouth on that.
I wanna. Hmm.
Excellent. As cool as it would be to interface these two items, no good would come of it.
Huh, sorry. I'm trying to figure
As
out
cool as it would
what
be to
do.
interface these two items, no good would come of it.
Oh, I'm missing something. Am I? Yeah, dang it. I am missing something. I gotta go all the way back. Crap. Shoot. Shoot. This game is so slow. Okay. Let's just crank our speed up to get through. Woo! Oh boy. Roger's moving. Climbing. Yeah, that's what I'm missing.
Judging by this, but you're not.
That was what I needed.
Don't pick at it. You'll only make.
Right?
It's the bundle of capillaries you appropriated from Stellar.
Okay, some capillaries. That's what we needed. So we'll...
You cleverly taped the capillaries together.
There we go. That's what we needed. How are you supposed to know to grab that rope that was just hanging off of your ship? That's rude. Very rude. Okay. Okay. So we will turn the speed back down again. And then I will... I use the hose on the pump.
Nice work. You've hooked up your makeshift hose to the pump.
There we go.
You chuck one of the taped capillaries over the muscular ledge. It drops into the pool.
Now I got a helmet full of bile. What every gal wants.
You give the pump a stroke or two, and in the process gather a nice helmet load of bile. I guess congratulations are in order.
Helmet full of bile. Oh no! Nice reference. Alright. Whew. Pick up some tiny gallstones. Okay. What do you want? What do you want, sweetheart? Mommy's working. Alright, she wants. Ah, dang it. She's all needy. Okay.
That is, if she can face life after having you inside her.
Ooh, what?
Boy, wouldn't it? Boy.
Wait, what?
Yeah, this is way too snug. This blockage needs to be cleared. Stellar's going to have to change her diet.
That is, if she can face life after having you inside her.
That's so rude. Okay, I needed something else from the ship. Okay. I can kind of understand why this one isn't as well loved as the other ones. Like maybe if this wasn't maybe if this one was like kind of in the middle and this was just like a one-off adventure before you were a captain, I could see it probably being more popular.
This heat tile. Whoops. This heat tile looks. Whoops. This heat.
What?
Whoops. This heat tile. Whoops.
Quit boinking the fuel tank light. Judging by the spongy, sticky surface and the rippled, undulating muscle churning underneath, you deduce that you're standing on a stomach. But you're not 100% certain. It's just a gut feeling.
Boo. That was what I had to grab?
Judging by the sponge, but you're...
I tried to grab that already. Okay. I tried to grab that so many times. Okay. Moving on. Okay. Go this way. And now use that to swab it out.
You can't pass through with the... Don't take it back out. It's all fine.
Okay, so that's fine. Ew. Ow, I don't like that. I don't like this at all. It's a bit too visceral, you know? Ugh. Okay.
You maneuver your helmet beneath the drip and manage to snag a nice little dollop of the stuff.
Hmm. Okay. We're doing it. We're doing it. Going this way. Alright, so we've got our mixed fluids, and we'll put them on the pill. And then we'll take some of these.
You now own one of those tiny timed release pills.
Okay. Got a time release pill. Okay, okay. Bum, bum. And now we go this way. Wait, what? No. Ah! No!
Since
No!
you enter the tapeworm not partially digested, you'll probably give him heartburn. I hope you're proud of yourself.
Oh my god, I didn't I didn't save. Oh no. Okay, we know what to do now. Alright, I'm gonna turn up the speed while I do this. Oh, look at him go. Alright, I know what to do now. Ah, that stinks. That stinks so much.
Judging, but you're not. Judging, but you.
Okay, so we have those things. Gonna exit. Ah, bah, bah, bah. Go back down, you fool. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Oh, this is my brain, like, this music is just not pleasant to listen to either. It's just, my brain feels hollow.
You cleverly taped the. Nice work. Now, if you just.
I forgot the helmet! Ah. I hate this. 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 This music makes my head hurt so much. Okay. It's like, it's a neat idea. But the execution is very tedious.
This
No, go in the ship. Thank you.
You neatly reply.
Okay, okay. Getting frustrated. Stop being frustrated. Have the helmet. We're gonna collect the bile.
But you're not.
Go. I'm gonna drink some water while I enter the ulcer. I hate the sounds. Ah, okay. Alright. I don't need the animation every time you step into this part of the body, Roger. Come on. We've done this song and dance enough times. Okay.
You chuck one of the taped capillaries over the musk.
I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. Okay, come on, come on,
You
come
give
on.
the pump a stroke or two, and in the process,
Stop saying
gather
that.
a nice helmet load of bio. I guess congratulations are in order.
Okay. Got our bile. Go, baby. Alright, now cutscene, come on. Alright, take those.
Don't touch that.
Feet, 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 feet. We are almost done, I think. As long as I don't mess this up again. Feet, feet, feet. I know. I will save when I get to the part where we were before. Bloop.
You
Go, 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 go. Go, Roger, go, Roger. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. Fuck it. Mixed fluid. Go.
You now own one of the...
Save, save, save. Worse than body war.
You summon the ability.
Okay, we saved. Alright, alright, alright. Okay.
Since you've entered the tapeworm, not
What
partially
happened? Oh, God. Oh, my whole game just, like, shifted up. What the heck? Okay. That's very weird. Walk, 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 walk. Bum, bum. Bum, bum. Don't do the weird thing? Okay.
Impressive. The tapeworm suddenly becomes much more animated.
And then...
Please remember to keep your arms and legs on the worm at all times.
Yeehaw! What? Maybe that was worth it.
Now that's a ride you won't take in the Magic Kingdom.
Okay. The sleeper has awoken. All right.
You snap off a shard of fingernail and gingerly introduce it into your pocket.
Gross. Where are we?
You carefully, very carefully, stow the paper clip in your pocket. You pull away a cracked piece of the filling.
Okay. So you've got a fish, a helmet, a fingernail, some gallstones, a nail, a paper clip, and a silver filling. Okay.
Here's a tip. Don't mess with your colon. You'll be glad you didn't.
This is the colon. Okay. Ew.
No, I think I've already done things above and beyond the call of duty. Hey, a guy has to draw the line somewhere, and gosh darn it, this guy's drawn the line right at the colon.
Oh.
You've never even met her mother.
Oh. Yeah. That was the butthole, and he doesn't want to go that way.
So you like the worm, huh? You like to ride the worm, huh?
What?
I let you ride the worm.
What? I feel like that's a reference, because everything's a reference in these games. Bum 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 bum. Wish I had a cowboy hat.
It wouldn't.
And Stellar's got like some stuff going on that I think we need to tell her about. Like, she has a tapeworm. She's the highest quality climbing animation. Hi, Wild Beast Tiger. How are you today? We are almost, we're in the final chapter of Space Quest 6. Ooh. I'm doing good. I'm just being a lazy bum. How are you doing? Pretty good. Had a few frustrating puzzles right before this, but we figured it out. Moving on. Let's save again. We'll just keep it as worse than Body Wars. Let's see.
Boy, wouldn't it be cool if that really worked? As cool. It would have. Boy, wouldn't it. That's.
Okay, we have to do something right behind the flashing light.
That's an excellent guess, Kreskin. Wrong.
What?
But excellent.
Stop being mean.
That's an Boy, wouldn't it be.
Oh, that's the. Oh, right, because silver is fuel.
Excellent guess, Kreskin. Wrong, but excellent.
Thank you.
I am sweating like a pig, but that doesn't mean you should have to. Take my money.
Thank you. Sorry, that made me laugh. Obviously. Let's see. What do I do next? Enter the ship. There we go.
You neatly replace the EVA suit in its proper place.
Alright. Let's go save this girl that really likes us, but we also don't return her feelings or something. I can't remember. Alright, so we got the nanites in her stomach. We'll do the initiation button. Alright, we're going to the brain. To the brain! Ah, ara. Time to pay up. Yep. Yep. That one's like, I'm worried that one is just like so fun that people won't bonk me on the head. That's my favorite redeem. Yay, I did the meme. Put this on. I'm gonna keep saving. I don't want another tapeworm incident.
You look at it, but nothing strikes your fancy.
Okay, so we have to use fingernail.
You slice away with the nail, and amazingly enough, manage to cut a slice in the barrier.
I hate thinking about that. Oh, we're in the brain.
Yikes. How am I supposed to jump across this one?
Okay, I guess we can just keep... Are we still trying to save Stellar? Yes. We are in her body. We defeated the robots that were in her... Oh, hello, boys. We defeated the ones that were in her stomach, and we have to defeat the ones that are in her brain right now. I'm gonna save. Okay. So we have...
I don't think I can hit them from here.
Okay. No! Oh!
So close, and yet so far away. How embarrassing to get wasted by the Laurel and Hardy of nanites.
Okay. Thank God we just saved. Okay, so I want to be... I gotta throw the stones at them.
I don't think... I...
Is that okay?
Careful.
I don't think... I don't... I...
Okay, can I do this now? Yeah. Wapa!
You chuck a gallstone at one of the robots, causing it to think the other one did it.
Yeah. Okay, and then we're gonna... hit the other guy.
You chuck another gallstone, this time at the other robot, who also thinks the other one did it.
Sowing discontent. More fights. More fights. Rock'em sock'em robots. Okay. Go, 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 go. Yeah!
That was quite effective. That was very impressive, Roger. I'll bet that's not something you hear every decade.
It's top tier animation. Oh, hi, Kyle Warden. Sorry, I just realized. Let's save again. The Three Stooges of robots, yes. We're inside a lady's body because we have to defeat the robots that are living in her. It's me, the Warden of Chaos. Oh god, that's too fast. Okay. They have made that joke. Okay.
This sign says this is her pleasure center.
Don't.
This sign says this is her...
No, stop it.
This button takes you...
So this is the motor control center.
Okay. Nope, I didn't want to go all the way up. No, 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 no. Okay. Go back. Ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum.
It feels slightly...
Interesting. The sign says this is Stellar's Cough Control Center.
Okay, our cough control center. So we are going to poke it.
As cool as... It probably seems... Boy, wouldn't it be... Excellent.
Okay, she's coughing. I'm going to save. Cough, cough, cough. Okay, I feel like this is... Okay. I'm gonna try and leave, or go here.
A huge pile of debris is standing in front of what appears to be some sort of passage. Light pours through the opening.
Can I get through to this? Okay, I have to use the hand.
Ugh! Ah! Even in this suit, that hurts like a... Jeez. What's going on here? And what's with that big robot?
Well, well, Mr. Wilco. I must confess to being impressed that you made it this far. You are either a very lucky man, or the classic case of how looks can be deceiving. From what I know of your history, I can't say that in this case looks are
Thank you for the hydrate.
necessarily deceiving. On the other hand, I don't think luck accounts for it all either. There's definitely something different about you, Mr. Wilco. It's a pity, though. I'm afraid this is where the odds catch
Roger's
up with
built
you,
different.
Roger. I do hope you don't mind me referring to you as Roger. I feel we can both be on a first-name basis now, since we will soon be sharing such intimate moments. My rebirth and your death. Not necessarily in that order. I'll attend to you in a moment. I have a few more little details to finish before I transfer my consciousness into this body. Enjoy it, Roger. It'll be among the very last of your memories. Oh, and by the way, escape attempts will prove to be futile. You will be incinerated if necessary.
Jeez, what a bit...
Okay.
I'm sorry. What was that you were saying?
Me? I was saying, what a bite. Yeah, I had a little trouble with some parasites a while ago down in the digestive tract. That's all it was.
Okay, I have the paperclip. Yeah.
That was actually a great
Yeah.
idea. Go figure.
Yeah, I kicked her butt. Just look at me. MacGyver wishes he could be me. It was bound to happen. The never-ending battle between good and evil was once again waged. And once again, good has emerged victorious. Yes, and with me on its side, how could it lose? Yes, once again, I have struck a blow for good over evil. It was in a... Hey! Ah! What? But I thought I took care of you.
Well, it appears you thought wrong now, doesn't it, Roger? Wilco, I haven't survived this long without taking precautions. The robot was just hardware. My mind still exists.
Oh, real wonderful. Ooh! Ah! Hey!
Yeah, big
watch
brain.
those tentacles, lady. I thought that being partially embedded in the street on polysorbate was a strange feeling.
Ah, no tentacles. Okay. Let's give her the fish.
Fish, that's brain food.
Those omega-3s. What?
All right. She actually chowed down on that rancid fish. I thought I'd never get rid of that fish.
Oh, that's the doctor. Doctor, save us. Flash your lights. Yeah, flash your lights so he knows it's you. Yeah. I'm in the nose.
Nice shot.
Ew! We were in a pimple?
There you are.
That's so gross. Ew.
Boy, Stellar, with all that's happened recently, I never would have imagined that we'd be standing here together.
It is a miracle, Roger. I was afraid that by the time you got my message, it would be too late. I was certain I was doomed. But you didn't let me down. What you did was incredibly brave, Roger, not to mention intensely risky. It took Dr. Bellows a lot of work to clean up after you and Sharpay. I must say, Roger, there's not a man in the universe who knows me inside the way you do.
It was a strange feeling, but I went in there all business. There wasn't a moment I wasn't thinking of your welfare.
Right?
Oh, give me a break. Let me put my boots on. It's getting deep in here.
Cheese it, pal, or I'll rip out your larynx and you won't be able to get a job doing bad voiceover work for Chinese action pictures.
What did you say, Roger?
I was just mumbling to myself. You know, Stellar, there's one thing I noticed while inside you I thought I might share.
Oh, the tapeworm?
And what's that, Roger?
The staple?
You eat like a goat. You really have to change your eating habits, Stellar. I saw some things in your digestive tract I wouldn't wish on Sludge Vohall. You really have to clean up your consumption act.
So rude.
Yes, I know. Dr. Bellows said he was able to fix most everything done to me during Sharpay's invasion, as well as patching an ulcer that was playing havoc with my stomach. He told me the same things.
You might also try chewing. You had a hunk of Twinkoid wedged in your throat that would have gagged Linda Lovelace.
Okay, Roger, okay, I got the message. Let's change the subject, shall we?
This is so
Ask me
mean.
where
I don't like
stationed
this
next.
game.
Why don't you just tell me?
Boy, some fun you are.
Sorry, I guess I'm a little grumpy. I had a real day. I had to clean the captain's log entry container. Then somebody got a nice buzz and ate rear and decided to take a wormhole ride in the Hollow Suite. They hit a few wrong buttons, and the next thing I know, I'm cleaning Vergon nebula sets and hors d'oeuvres off every wall and ceiling. Apparently, they truly did make the room spin. Boy, they spackled everything. Had to use the putty knife to chip loose some of the chunks of...
Roger, I'm sorry you had a rough day, but can we please change the subject?
Thank you for the bong.
Oh, sorry.
Anyway, I think you're gonna like your next assignment.
Really? What is it? Where is it?
Sorry, you're just gonna have to wait to find out.
In Space Quest 7. Just kidding, they didn't make one. The jockstrap ship. Classic. The assignment was love. Bum, 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 bum.
As Roger and Stellar warp off into the nebula set, many questions remain. Will Roger and Stellar become an item? How will Beatrice Wankmeister react when she hears about this new friend in Roger's life? Will Roger's voice be a few octaves higher as a result? Would they dare to make another one of these things? Only time and money will tell.
I've been up to my lips in urinal pucks lately. I hope it's something different.
That joke kind of stinks because they didn't end up making another one.
Who wrote this crap? Oh, yeah, Scott. Yeah, well, yeah, then good work. Did you hear about the animator who killed himself? Yeah, he couldn't draw his own breath.
It's not funny. Ba, 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 ba. The Stooge Fighter code got his own credit. Thank you, people that programmed and made Stooge Fighter.
These, by the way, are the credits. They're called credits because, well, we can't afford to really pay anybody until more people buy the game.
That's also not funny. I definitely understand now playing through all of them why this one isn't really well liked.
All these people worked on this dumb game?
Yeah, this is the last one. two creators of Space Quest, they did a Kickstarter a few years back for like a spiritual successor, and the game is not doing so well. I think they finally entered beta testing last summer, 5 years after the Kickstarter happened or something. And maybe one of the guys isn't working on it. So after this, we now have the rest of the King's Quest series to finish.
Thank you. Bye bye. Bye bye. That's
Bye-bye.
it. Bye bye. No more. Bye bye. That's it. All finished. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Farewell. Farewell. Bye bye. Bye bye. See you later.
Neverhood. Oh my gosh, is that the claymation one?
Last time. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Thank you for playing Space Quest 6. This is Gary Owens, signing off.
So I played that as a kid. It was like one of the CDs that was at my grandparents' house, and I only ever played it there. So like just weird parts are like deep within my like memory. But I do own another game made by them. I think later they made the game Armacrog. Armacrog's the name. I do own that. But I think I want to finish King's Quest. I have the schedule up for next week, and next Saturday I'll be finishing, or I don't know if we'll play King's Quest 5. I did start playing it a few weeks ago before I got my model, but I just kind of wanted to I feel like I needed a model for games that are mostly talking, especially when there's no subtitles. Oh, the flower spinning is new. I added those. I added those this week. But words are hard. Yeah, so we'll finish the King's Quest series, and then we'll kind of move on from there with what kind of like point and click adventure games, because those are always super fun. I do already own Armacrog. I could probably try to find Neverhood. I'm messing with the pink outline. This is actually the transparent option. It's actually not as good as chroma key. Ah! Yeah, I gotta mess up my... I don't know. I don't know. I'm apparently like the worst person to play balloons with. I've tried playing it co-op once, and my friend hated it because I just like my brain is just like, aha, balloons go brr and I pop. So I'm just constantly like speeding through it, and it's not a good way to play the game, and it's terrible for other people to play with me. I'm actually pretty burnt out because I think I've beaten all the levels, and I've beaten like half of the levels on hard, and I haven't felt like, and like the only other things to kind of do after that are like you beat all of the hard extra challenge levels, which just isn't, that's just kind of not fun for me. I'm pretty burnt out on it. Yeah. So we're gonna have Mojave Mondays tomorrow. It's gonna be an hour later. It's gonna be at 1 p.m. EST because I have to take my cat to the vet, and I don't know how long vet visits take. So I figured I'd just bump back the stream just in case. Oh, it's gonna be fun getting her in her carrier. That'll be an adventure. Ba, ba, ba. Let's see. Yeah, and then next week also King's Quest. We might also try, I mean, we could also just try some of the like other not as known Sierra franchises too. That might also be fun to do after King's Quest. But I know that like people have mentioned Maniac Mansion, Day of the Tentacle. It's been many years since I played Grim Fandango, so I probably forgot how it is. There is also the King's Quest spiritual successor. Like they got permission from Sierra to kind of make like an homage game that kind of like honors the whole King's Quest series, which is nice. Bum, ba, bum, 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 ba, 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 bum. Ooh, I know what we can do. How about we raid? Is it just well it's I'm trying to figure out what kind of schedule works for me. Because I used to do the Sierra games on Wednesday, but now those are kind of my like Gunplug Garage Kit streams. I'm still trying to figure stuff out. But like things just kind of keep happening on Saturdays, so maybe I just shouldn't have stuff scheduled for Saturdays. Like my Papa Owl broke a bone in his legs. Yes, well, it happened Friday. And then on Saturday I had to go over and help and like rearrange the house a bit so he could like live on the first floor safely because he just cannot do stairs. But ooh, Olive Olive is streaming. It's another owl. She's another owl. We can offer an owl hello. Bum, 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 ba, 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 bum. Do we want to have a raid message? owl, owl. More owls, more owls. Yeah. You always gotta support the owl. I kind of appreciate how tight knit the owl VTuber community is. I guess because there's like a decent number of us, but also it's not like cat girls where there's just like a bajillion. So you kind of can't, Yeah. We'll do ah bum ba bum 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 ba 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 bum. All right. We'll have an owl mom raid. We will say hello. We will say hello to Olive. Cat girls, how original. Yeah, let's do that. All right. Is everyone ready? Yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow for Dead Money. We're playing Dead Money. All right. Bye.